In John 14 to 17, John provides some very personal views of the apostles' experience with Jesus before he was arrested. Now, as I read through this, I just imagined the scene and imagined myself amongst them, listening to the things that Jesus was saying. And the words actually came to life for me on those pages. And I imagine how Jesus would have said all the things that he said. And, you know, the messaging, the message was given them was so somber, but in spite of that, it was also hopeful and filled with expectation of unknown things. I believe that this must have been quite a defining moment for the apostles. And, you know, they were being made privy to some unknown things. And I imagine that they probably had like an array of feelings, from discomfort at first, you know, from things that he was saying, confusion, trepidation, and awe in all the things that he was saying. Now, enough of my ramblings and my musings. Here are some of the things that the highlights of the message Jesus gave to his disciples. First thing he said was that he was the way, the truth, and the life, and access to the Father was only through him. And that access can only come through faith in him. And faith in him produced miracles. Anything that we ask in his name, according to his will, is available to us, his people. Then he promised to give his Spirit, the Holy Spirit, which was part of the next phase of God's plan, where the Holy Spirit will dwell in his people. Remember, before then, he used to come upon the people, but now he will dwell in his people and empower them, teach them, remind them of his teachings, and bless them in many diverse ways. In his oh gosh, in the Holy Spirit also shines a light on Jesus. You know, I'm going to start typing instead of writing. But I don't know if it's just me, but there's something more personal about writing my Bible notes than typing them out. But yeah, if I keep stumbling on my handwriting, it might become necessary. Anyway, moving on. He also let them know that the Holy Spirit was active whenever Jesus is magnified, and he dwells exclusively in the followers of Christ. So if anyone who doesn't have the Holy Spirit essentially isn't one who follows in or necessarily believes in him. Now he told them that he was the vine and they were the branches, and to bear fruit, we as his branches must remain in him. He promised the disciples hard times. Like I always say, it wasn't a cakewalk. They were going to face hard times and persecution, but he had chosen and called them, and they would be sustained by his love, and their hope was secure in him. The world would hate his disciples. He let them know that. Now, this was a hard one for me, and it was very glaring how unkind the world would be from the things that Jesus said. The world really is a wicked place, and it's only because of the Holy Spirit that the disciples were strengthened, or will be strengthened. And I feel like even us, it's only the Holy Spirit that keeps us strengthened in the kind of things that we see here on earth. And in spite of what may appear to be doom and gloom at the end of the day, because it seems like, oh, you're going to suffer, you're going to be hated, you're going to this, you're going to that, but there's hope of everlasting joy after Jesus' absence from the world. He lets his disciples know that. I love the end of verse 16, where it appeared that the disciples finally understood him, because it always seemed like most of the things that he was saying was hidden from them. But at that time, it was very obvious that they had understood, and they acquiesced to the things that he had said. And Jesus prayed the high priestly prayer in chapter 17. He prayed for himself, he prayed for his disciples, and for all the believers, including you and me, that we may dwell in him. Now here's my hashtag getting to know God lesson. The glory of God is our shared purpose as believers, and Jesus has so much joy and peace for those who believe in him. He wants us to experience the full measure of peace here on earth. We don't have to wait to get to heaven to experience it. His desire is to fill us with overflowing joy, to proclaim his victory to even the most in even the most challenging situations. How do I know? In chapter 17, verse 13, it says, I'm coming to you now, but I say these things while I am still in the world, so that you may have the full measure of joy, of my joy within them. That's the disciple. So we have the full measure of joy here. We don't have to wait to get to heaven to be filled with the joy that the Holy Spirit gives us. I hope this was enlightening and useful for you as it was for me. Thank you for always joining me, and I look forward to sharing more with you tomorrow, God willing. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye.